Hello guys, how are you? Today we're going to summarize this amazing book, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. So let's start with the introduction. The Alchemist is a simple but powerful story about dreams, destiny, fear, love, and discovering the true meaning of life. The book follows a young shepherd boy named Santiago, who leaves behind his comfortable life to search for treasure near the pyramids of Egypt. But during his journey, he learns that the real treasure is not just gold. It's wisdom, self-discovery, courage, and following your heart. Beginning of the story. The story starts in Spain with a young shepherd named Santiago. He travels across the countryside with his sheep. Santiago enjoys being a shepherd because it allows him to travel freely, see new places, and meet new people. One day, while sleeping inside an abandoned church, Santiago has a strange dream. In the dream, a child takes him to the Egyptian pyramids and tells him that a hidden treasure is waiting there. The strange part is that Santiago has the exact same dream twice. Because of this, he becomes curious and visits a woman who interprets dreams. The old woman tells him something shocking. Yes, there is treasure waiting for you near the pyramids in Egypt. At first, Santiago thinks this sounds ridiculous. Traveling from Spain to Egypt just because of a dream seems crazy. But then something unusual happens. Meeting the old king. While sitting in a town square reading a book, Santiago meets a mysterious old man named Melchizedek, who claims to be the king of Salem. The old king tells Santiago about something called a personal legend. A personal legend is basically your true purpose in life, the dream your heart genuinely wants to achieve. The king explains that when people are young, they know exactly what they want. But as they grow older, fear, comfort, and society slowly convince them to give up on their dreams. Then he says one of the most famous lines in the entire book. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. These words deeply affect Santiago. The king encourages him to follow his dream and search for the treasure in Egypt. He even gives Santiago two magical stones called Urim and Thummim to help guide him whenever he feels confused. Finally, Santiago decides to sell his sheep and begin his journey toward Egypt. This is the first major turning point of the story. Santiago gets robbed. Santiago arrives in Tangier, Africa, excited and hopeful. But almost immediately, disaster strikes. A man pretends to help him, but steals all his money. Suddenly, Santiago is alone in a foreign country with no money, no sheep, and no way to return home. He feels hopeless. At this point, Santiago almost gives up on his dream. He starts thinking maybe the journey was a mistake. But then he remembers the old king's words about omens and destiny. Instead of returning home defeated, he chooses to keep moving forward. This moment teaches one of the book's biggest lessons. Every dream comes with tests. The universe tests whether you truly want your dream or not. Working at the crystal shop to survive, Santiago starts working for a crystal merchant. The merchant owns a crystal shop that has been failing for years. He is kind but deeply afraid of change. Santiago begins suggesting new ideas to improve the business, displaying crystals outside the shop, serving tea in crystal glasses, attracting more customers creatively. Slowly, business becomes successful again. Within a year, Santiago earns enough money to buy even more sheep than he originally had. He now has a choice: return home safely or continue toward the pyramids. The crystal merchant represents people who are afraid to chase their dreams. The merchant once dreamed of traveling to Mecca, but fear and comfort stopped him from going. Santiago realizes something important. If he returns home now, he may spend the rest of his life wondering, what if? So he chooses to continue. Crossing the desert, Santiago joins a caravan traveling across the Sahara Desert toward Egypt. During this journey, he meets an Englishman who is searching for a famous alchemist. The Englishman spends all his time reading books, trying to understand the secrets of life through knowledge and science. Santiago, however, learns through observation, experience, and listening to nature. The desert becomes a giant teacher for Santiago. He learns patience, silence, intuition, and how everything in the universe is connected. The book repeatedly explains the idea of the soul of the world, meaning all living things are spiritually connected. Santiago slowly learns to listen to his heart. Meeting Fatima. Eventually, the caravan reaches an oasis in the desert. There, Santiago meets a beautiful girl named Fatima. The moment he sees her, he falls deeply in love. For the first time, Santiago feels tempted to stop his journey completely. He thinks, maybe love is my real treasure. But Fatima surprises him with wisdom and maturity. She tells Santiago, true love never stops someone from following their destiny. Instead of asking him to stay, she encourages him to continue searching for his treasure. This becomes another major lesson of the story. Real love supports your dreams instead of destroying them. Fatima becomes a symbol of unconditional love and faith. Meeting the alchemist. Soon Santiago finally meets the mysterious alchemist. The alchemist is wise, calm, and spiritually powerful. He understands the language of the universe completely. He becomes Santiago's guide and teacher. The alchemist teaches Santiago that fear is the biggest obstacle preventing people from achieving their dreams. He says the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. This lesson changes Santiago deeply. The alchemist also teaches him to trust his heart because the heart is connected to the soul of the world. As they travel together through dangerous desert lands, Santiago learns courage, faith, and spiritual understanding. Santiago learns the language of the world. At one point, Santiago and the alchemist are captured by warriors. To save their lives, Santiago claims he can transform himself into the wind. The warriors laugh and give him 3 days to prove it. Santiago is terrified because he has no idea how to become the wind. But during these 3 days, he begins communicating with nature, the desert, the wind, the sun, and finally the soul of the world itself. In a spiritual and symbolic moment, Santiago successfully becomes one with the wind. The warriors are shocked and let them go. This scene represents human potential. The message is that when someone completely trusts themselves and becomes connected with the universe, impossible things become possible. Reaching the pyramids. Finally, Santiago reaches the Egyptian pyramids. He falls to his knees and cries from happiness because he completed his journey. Then he starts digging for the treasure exactly where the dream had shown him. But suddenly, thieves attack him. They beat him badly and steal everything he has. When Santiago tells them he was searching because of a dream, one thief laughs and says, I also once had a dream about treasure hidden under a sycamore tree inside an abandoned church in Spain, but I'm not stupid enough to travel across the world because of a dream. At that moment, Santiago realizes something incredible. The abandoned church the thief described is the exact same church where Santiago first had the dream. The treasure was buried there the whole time. The real treasure. Santiago returns to Spain and digs beneath the tree inside the ruined church. There he finally discovers a chest filled with gold, jewels, and treasure. But by now, Santiago understands something much bigger. The real treasure was never only the gold. The true treasure was the journey, the lessons, the people he met, the courage he discovered, and the person he became along the way. Without the journey, he would never have transformed into the wiser, stronger version of himself. At the end of the story, Santiago plans to return to Fatima because now he understands both love and destiny. Main lessons from The Alchemist 1. Follow your dreams. The book teaches that everyone has a dream or purpose inside them. Most people abandon it because of fear or comfort, but happiness comes from pursuing what truly calls your heart. 2. Fear is the biggest enemy. Again and again, the story shows that fear destroys more dreams than failure ever does. Most people fail before they even try. 3. The journey changes you. The destination matters, but the person you become during the journey matters even more. Growth happens through struggles and experiences. 4. Listen to your heart. The book constantly emphasizes intuition. Your heart often knows the right path before your mind does. 5. Everything happens for a reason. The idea of omens and signs appears throughout the story. The book suggests that life gives hints and opportunities, but you must pay attention. Final thoughts. The Alchemist became famous worldwide because its message is simple and universal. Almost everyone has dreams they are scared to chase, fears holding them back, or questions about their purpose in life. Santiago's story reminds readers that life becomes meaningful when we pursue what truly inspires us. The book is not really about treasure. It's about becoming the person you were meant to become. And that is why The Alchemist continues to inspire millions of people around the world.